What's happening, soul family? As you all know or may not know, I've spent the last few years finishing up a doctorate degree that I started 20 years ago. 20. Yeah. I started 20 years ago. So, there's this element of research, and the biggest struggle that I had with this dissertation was having a team to understand, going to a predominantly white institution and having to make people understand the perspective of where I'm coming from. And then there's this whole, the way I communicate. You're so passionate. I'm just like, I have hypertension. You're so passionate. I'm just like, I'm the granddaughter of a Baptist minister. You're so passionate. I'm just like, I don't feel no kind of way about what I'm saying. I'm just explaining it to you. But because of the way Black people express themselves, that can come off one way or another, right? And I get this from even other Black people about the way that I communicate and express myself, how it's so strong. But I said all that to say, while I was fighting to have the gaps in my research field and making a point in case about why it's significant to fill this gap and the elements of what should be in that gap, right? I found the most interesting research. As I was adding, my dissertation is on economic equity of Blacks, comparing Blacks to no one else, right? That's not the title. The title is so fly. I love it. I'm not going to get to that right this second. But looking at the Jim Crow era and Black economic progress after slavery, what I love about this the most is that they used U.S. Census data because that was like the most accurate data they could have for this study, right? And the title of this, in case you want to look it up, is called Jim Crow and Black Economic Progress After Slavery by the Hoover Institution. And the authors are Lucas Althoff and Hugo Reichert. Here's what I wanted to tell you. There's a point, again, they're comparing, there's a point in here where they compare free blacks and enslaved blacks and their experiences going through Jim Crow and even up today. They use data from like 1860, census data from 1860 to 2000, to 2000. But here's what I really wanted to show. There's a list of names. And this blew me. There's a list of names based on the census data that shows how much or what the percentage of that your family was enslaved. Some of the things that they look at was income, occupational skill, education. Again, they're using census data going back to 1830. Yeah, 1830 up to 2000 for their whole study. And they talk about income and wealth and intergenerational wealth, and if they were in the north, if they were in the south, if they were in the upper southern regions of the United States, right? This is what I came to share with y'all. This is a list of names and the probability that they were enslaved. If your last name was Wanamaker, there's a 0 probability that you come from enslaved heritage. If your last name is Dubois, there's a 1% probability that you come from enslaved ancestry. If your last name is Cumberland, there's a 2% probability. If your last name is DeWitt, there's a 6% probability. If your last name is Ratcliffe, there's a 10% probability. If your last name is McCollins, there's a 16%. Dupas, 21%. Freeman, and that's free with 2 E's and 2 N's, Freeman. There is a 28%. Butcher, 44%. Freeman, Freeman, 1N. There is a 66% probability that you come from slavery, enslavement. Stop saying slavery, enslavement. If your last name is Tubman, like Harriet Tubman, Tubman, there's a 70%. Baptiste, Baptise, 85% that you come from enslaved heritage. Jackson, 86%. Broom, like the broom that you sweep with, 87%. Douglas with 2S, Douglass, 87%. Johnson, 87%. Smith, 89%. Carter, 90%. Robinson, 90%. Hamilton, 91%. King, 91%. Morrison, 91%. Williams, 91%. Hughes, 92%. Jefferson, 92%. Marshall, 92%. Baldwin, 94%. Jordan, 94%. Lincoln, 95%. Knowles, 96%. Washington, 96%. Cooks, 97%. That's Cooks with an S, Cooks. Broadnax, never heard that name. Broadnax, Broadnax. There's a 99% that your heritage is enslavement. Boykins, 100% owned. Doyley, 100% owned. I mean, I'm saying it wrong. Doyley, Doyley. Gadsden, 100%. Freedman, Freedman, 100%. Meriwether, 100%. Rockingham, 100%. So this estimate table of probabilities of descendants from enslaved Black Americans by last name conditional on being Black. Yeah. And these are people that are Black today, suggesting that they were likely adopted names from the slave era from masters whose families died out or left few descendants, consistently with that idea. The estimates suggest that Black people with these last names are almost certain descendants from ancestors who were enslaved until the Civil War. Hope this helps. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to start sharing more of my research with you guys. My research and the other research that I found fascinating on this journey. Love, peace, and blessings. Until real soon.